I just don't want to see him die, so. Avengers Endgame comes out this weekend. I can honestly say for the past month almost, I constantly am thinking about it. I get a little bit sick to my stomach when I think about it too much and what could happen. I am very, very amped for this movie. I am also very confused as to what could happen. There are so many little scenarios that have played out in my head. So I thought it would be fun to talk about some of my theories and things that I think could happen in Endgame. Some of them are definitely wishful thinking. Some of them might be possible, but I think after seeing Infinity War, kind of anything is possible. I don't know that everyone saw that coming with all the dusting and everything. So, you know what? Who really knows? Maybe some of these theories could be real. I don't know, some of them would be cool if they happen, some of them would be super weird if they happen. So this video technically is spoiler free because I have not seen the movie yet. I am seeing it tonight, so I will not be in the comment section until after I see it because there are definitely spoilers online that have leaked. You should also stay out of the comment section, and after I see the movie, if I see anybody posting spoilers, I will go and delete those. Like I said, this will be completely spoiler free. These are some things that I have thought about based on conversation with friends and things that I have seen in merchandise and trailers. So if you are one of those people that does not watch any trailers or look at any merchandise and doesn't want to know anything at all going in, then I wouldn't recommend watching this video. But if you are like me and a bunch of my friends and you look up all of these trailers and you try to put all these puzzle pieces together, then maybe we have some of the same theories. It's almost even impossible to come up with any theories for Endgame, honestly, because Marvel is known for doing a lot of fake out trailers. The Russo brothers have even come out and said certain parts that we've seen in trailers now for Endgame are false. Like the handshake between Captain America and Iron Man that happens, it's like seems pretty emotional, apparently isn't even in the movie. So we could be living under this whole ruse and everything in the trailer could be fake. We don't know. I would not put it past them. We know that all of the actors all have different scripts. They film multiple endings. Mark Ruffalo for Infinity War said that he filmed both scenes where he died and then when he didn't die. So not even the actors will know what's happening. So they're going to have like a very similar movie experience that we are all going to have seeing it, which I love. But also like drives me a little bit bonkers because you expect to see these things. It's like when Thor was revealed to only have one eye. Like, what? First things first, we are absolutely going to have a time travel element. There's pretty much no way that we can't. We know this for a few reasons, especially at the end of Ant-Man and Wasp when Michelle Pfeiffer very conveniently is like, don't get stuck in a time vortex. Like clearly there's going to be some sort of element that has to do with the quantum realm and going back in time. We have a new Spider-Man movie coming out with Tom Holland. He's dusted. We know that Ryan Coogler signed up in late 2018 for a Black Panther sequel, so wouldn't be a surprise that T'Challa came back for that. And Guardians 3 is in production, and we know that most of the Guardians of the Galaxy are dead. So safe to assume that we're gonna go back in time and bring some of these people back. We don't know if it's gonna be everybody. It could be nobody. I do think that we might go back in time twice. I think going back in time twice makes sense for a few reasons. First of all, there are definitely two distinctively different quantum realm suits. It looks like maybe they could go back in time, it fails, and then they have to have like this new suit to go back in time again. I think that would justify having a 3-hour runtime. Also, we have a clip in one of the trailers where Black Widow was like, he used the stones again. So they could go back and fix everything and then it all kind of pans out the same way and then they have to go back again. Based off another trailer, we have Captain America saying, you know your teams, you know your missions. So that means maybe we don't go back in time twice, but they definitely split off in teams. Because if you think about it, in the scenes that we have in their white uniforms, the white quantum realm outfits, you don't see Thor, Captain Marvel, or the Hulk or Bruce Banner in those outfits. So they might get together and they might be their own team, which makes perfect sense to me because we know that Valkyrie is coming back for this movie because she's been in promo materials, and who better than to go get Valkyrie than Bruce Banner and Thor, who know her, and then Captain Marvel, who has experience like in all of these realms. So she's like a space person. So send Captain Marvel, space people, go get Valkyrie, Don't know what their mission is going to be, but I definitely can see the division kind of going that way. Plus, when you look at the Endgame Funko toys, we do see the Hulk and Thor both in these quantum realm suits. We can't tell if they're different than the other characters. It's also interesting that we see War Machine in his suit and not in these quantum realm suits, and we don't see Captain Marvel in a quantum realm suit either. Could she die? She could. It wouldn't be out of the realm of possibilities. Captain Marvel seems like the type of character who would do a big sacrifice, like a big move. She could try to go single-handedly beat Thanos. Like, it seems like something that would be very in line with her character, and she could very well die and we not have Captain Marvel again. And that kind of comes into play because Captain Marvel introduced Monica Rambeau, who plays her niece, her best friend's daughter. And in the comics, Monica Rambeau eventually becomes Captain Marvel. And given the time frame of that being set in the 90s where she's a kid, she's definitely going to be an adult by the time Endgame comes out. And there was some possible foreshadowing in that. Like, she wants to go on this mission, and they were like, I think Nick Fury says, like, oh, you know, maybe when you learn how to fly like your aunt. So that could be flying like a fighter pilot, or it could be flying like in a Captain Marvel suit. Or another theory that I have is the idea of Monica Rambeau kind of becoming part of an all-female Avengers team. This will never happen. This idea of an all-female led superhero team has been kind of talked about for so long, and I don't think it's ever been a full serious conversation, but all the actresses have definitely expressed interest in it. Kevin Feige has been like, yeah, this will be cool. Who knows if it's possible? I think with the success of Captain Marvel, maybe it's more possible now than ever, but I don't know that they would have had the foresight to kind of go in that direction. But if they did, it definitely would be Captain Marvel if she still lives after Endgame. If not, Monica Rambeau could take Captain Marvel's place as she does in the comics, or she also could take Iron Man's place. Because in the comics right now, we have Ironheart, who's like a female Iron Man, and it's Riri, which is another like black young woman. So Monica Rambeau also kind of fits the profile of that and could end up being Iron Man. There's also these rumors that Pepper Potts is going to go in the Iron Man suit, so she could be a female Iron Man, but I don't really see Gwyneth Paltrow like signing more contracts to do more movies. She's kind of had a pretty good run, and I think Monica Rambeau would be more interesting in a character in that part. I do think that we possibly could have a Black Panther movie without T'Challa, and we also know that Shuri has been snapped. That leads me to believe in Endgame that we are going to see Okoye end up being the new Black Panther, because Shuri would be next in line depending on who's even left in Wakanda, but it makes sense that Okoye is on all this promo materials and doing the press junket and stuff, but we haven't seen her in a single trailer. She very well could at the beginning of the movie, like, I need to go back to my people, and she becomes the new queen of Wakanda, and she could be Black Panther moving forward with this crazy idea of a female Avengers team. We also know that we're getting Valkyrie back as another Asgardian. She could be kind of the new idea of Thor. We do have a Lady Thor in the comics now, so it's not a crazy notion that we could have a female represent Thor in this new Avengers. We also have the Wasp introduced pretty recently. She is a member of the Avengers in the comics, and she has not had a ton of screen time as a Wasp. This one is pretty out there, but Black Widow could potentially be like a new Captain America. And I say that because there is this toy line that came out, and she has the capability of adding a Captain America shield on her arm and on her back. This very well could just be chalked up to a toy feature. The idea of having any of the superheroes carrying Captain America's shield is like a fun thing to play. But it also could mean that all of these new suits maybe are equipped with the capability of carrying Cap's shield. That could be for logistic fighting reasons. It could be because Captain America's like, hey, I might die, so I want you to be able to like use my shield how I use it. I don't know, but I thought it was like pretty weird and specific for these toys to have that capability, especially Black Widow. And listen, it is not gonna happen, but how cool would it be if it did? We don't have a lot of information on which direction Marvel is going to go after this whole segment of the MCU is like wrapped up after Endgame. So I don't know. I mean, we know a few movies that are coming out. We could do Black Panther where Okoye is the new Black Panther. It would suck to not have T'Challa and Shuri back because they were great. A lot of that is also speculation on us losing some of the original Avengers members. We know that some of the contracts are up with people, so we're not going to be expecting them to be in any future films. And that really could be said with Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans. I think they were the two that people thought were going to die the most in Infinity War. And they didn't, so it seems like people are like, oh, so now Captain America's gonna die and or Iron Man is gonna die and that's how they're gonna leave. But I don't know that I foresee them dying. I know there's a lot of conversations online, which I can see totally happening, and Iron Man doesn't die, but he becomes kind of another director of S.H.I.E.L.D. That obviously hinges on a few things. Maybe he's not the director and replaces Nick Fury, but maybe he becomes like head of R&D. That seems like a very Tony Stark thing, but it kind of gives Robert Downey Jr. the ability to kind of be involved in little bits, because I think he truly loves playing Iron Man, but he's made it very clear that he doesn't want to be Iron Man to a point where it's kind of like a joke where he's kind of too old for it. I can see Nick Fury coming back and being like, I'm too old for this, gotta bounce, and him like stepping into that role. I would be devastated if we lost Captain America. I do not want to see that death on screen at all. And in my wildest fantasies, which again, this will never happen, maybe Captain America is like, you know what? I want to give Peggy that dance, and Captain America goes back in time. He sweeps Peggy off of her feet. They have their dance, and he never becomes Captain America, but Bucky becomes Captain America, and then everything else kind of unfolds in the same way, because nothing with Peggy's like career has to change. If anything, Steve Rogers is around to like be our personal cheerleader or help her kind of found S.H.I.E.L.D. And then we have Bucky, who is now Captain America, which I know like gets a little dicey once you get to like Winter Soldier and Civil War. But Winter Soldier could be pretty much anybody else in Hydra. It doesn't necessarily have to be the Winter Soldier that we know now, because now everything is going to unfold. And in the comics, Bucky does become Captain America. I totally understand that this does not make any sense when it comes to the Disney Plus show with Falcon and Winter Soldier, but I don't care. It's a nice notion. I like to think about it. Won't happen at all, but like, wow, could you imagine if it did? Maybe he just goes back in time to like have that dance and then like comes back, but then I don't know what else he does. I just don't want to see him die, so I have no idea what could happen with Thor's timeline. If Thor dies, I will be donezo. I don't know really what's going to happen moving forward with the Hulk. I don't know kind of what the plan is of those characters falling into any other future movies. If they just kind of phase out, maybe Thor is like, we've done this. I really need to rule Asgard. I have all my people. They need to be protected in their realm. You guys handle your own stuff down here. Hulk, I really don't know. I think it's a character that we probably could see die and it not impact the whole universe so much, because I don't think there's really been plans for a future Hulk movie, but I do think there's a lot of great story to pull there, given like this kind of weird relationship with him and Black Widow. I think a Hulk death could really impact her personal journey, and that could be pretty interesting. Also, the fact that Bruce is like very smart, they would easily be a man down, and he's generally a good guy. And we've seen like a pretty big character arc, because with Thor Ragnarok, we see Hulk becoming more advanced and he's speaking and he's having conversations, which is a huge step up from when we first see him in the Avengers, where he is struggling with like every aspect. And when he's Hulk, he can't recognize people that he knows. With Hawkeye, I truly don't know. I think he's another character that we could lose and it impact the group without impacting the greater story. Again, like his relationship with Black Widow. Why does she have like so many close relationships with like so many people? Generally speaking, Hawkeye's like not the strongest character to even fight Thanos. I know people love Hawkeye, and that's like not throwing shade at Hawkeye. He's like very good and cool at what he does. But when you're thinking of something like Thanos, I'm like, what is Hawkeye gonna do? So we could lose him and I think it not impact the fight. like I said, we don't have a ton of detail on this next stage for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but we do know that the Fox acquisition has completely finalized, which means Disney and Marvel now have control of considerably more characters than they have had before, which makes me think it could be fun that one of the stingers in the after credit scene, maybe not the mid after credit scene, but like the final after credit scene, which I would even guess to say that we have 3 this time and not just 2. And that the final credit scene is something super epic that has to do with a property that Disney and Marvel have not been able to do a movie for yet, but now we'll be able to tell that story. Like maybe it'll be Galactus. That would be crazy. Maybe the Silver Surfer. He's a little bit more familiar with audiences. Though I can't say I would be super excited for another Fantastic Four movie again so soon, but I do think that Marvel Studios and Disney doing it could be the best iteration that we could have of that yet. So who knows? I think it would be really fun and a really good moment to be like, hey guys, look at all this new stuff we can make. There's one piece of this puzzle that I would love to know your thoughts on because I have no idea what this means. But for Black Widow, we see her in the trailer with like short blonde hair and then we see her again with longer red hair. But I was looking at the Funko toys and on the back, her hair is like the red braid, but the tip of it is like turning blonde. Like what could that possibly mean? Is she gonna like back in time like while they're in that moment? I would love nothing more than for you guys to figure out what you think that could possibly mean, along with any of the theories that you guys have. I love talking about it, but like I said, I am not gonna go into the comment section until after I see it. I really want to stay spoiler free throughout this whole thing, and I would be combing the comments to keep some spoilers out of there as well because people will be seeing it early. There's some leaks of people like commenting stuff online, so I'll keep an eye on that to keep you guys safe. If you want to have any discussions in the comments down below as well, if it gets too out of control, I'm just going to disable them because it's the internet. I can't wait for all these dudes to be like, this girl doesn't know anything she's talking about, because hey, it's the internet. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you are a fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I would love to know if you're going to see it this weekend. If you don't have tickets already, it's probably sold out because this movie is going to break like 1 million freaking box office records. So subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!